Hello, 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 hello. How is everyone today? How are all of you? Um, I'm watching the chat. They're like, what is this going to be about? I will get into that. I don't know how I end up in these. Well, I do know how. I'm led by God where to go and what to share. And I pray before everyone because I thank Him for leading us and enlightening us to truth that sometimes you don't hear many places. But anyway, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thrilled to be here. Let me just make a couple of announcements and we're going to get this party started. Let me just show you, this is for this Saturday, 1 o'clock. And until however long, this is supposed to be the day we're supposed to be in Chicago. And I'm actually, well, I'm not going to say that just in case God changes things up for Friday, but Saturday, this is at 1 o'clock on Rumble. That is, if you go to rumble.com, go to Delora OBrien in the search bar, Delora OBrien, The Gathering. The channel will come up, subscribe, hit the bell, and they'll let you know when we go on. Or just get over there about 1 o'clock. Dennis and I will be opening it up. We'll be hosting it. Members of the Gathering team will be coming in and out. Actually, some other people might just stop by to say hello. We don't know. It's going to be one of those days. So join us. Get yourself a Rumble channel so you can talk with others in the chat. Great chat over there as well. So that's Saturday, April 13th, this Saturday, 1 o'clock over at Rumble. The reason we have to do it over there is because we are, more free to say and pray the way we need to pray and whatever. So that's that. Friday, doubleheader Friday. That's what we call it. We got here off the cuff, OTC, noon. And then over on the Rumble channel, Fab 4, 6 o'clock. That is, listen, you want to talk about a place that shares truth, gives you music, and has you on the floor laughing. I'll tell you something. Some of the funniest stuff, I just crack up at what comes across because it's not planned. It's not planned. It's really off the cuff over there. It's off the cuff, Fab 4. Anyway, last but not least, here is one of our main fundraisers. That's joyandcountry.com. That's how we get to do our gatherings. And I shared on Solomon's Porch Sunday night over on Rumble all about Impact Center, what it is. I went through different slides and things to explain to you guys. You all have asked us about it. That's what we're moving toward. So every little bit helps. If you love the tea, new one. Jenna just brought it over. Comes in a million gorgeous colors. Look at this. If this isn't me, living proof of a loving God. Oh my goodness. If that isn't the truth. This is called, what color did she say? This is Cardinal. Gorgeous, gorgeous color. All kinds of other colors over there. And this is what she said to me to let you guys know. Jenna put it on sale today. $5 off this tea for this live for today. So the price ends at the end of the day today. So if you like this at all, don't wait. It's linked in the description below this tea. And you can find it in Delora's Closet on joyandcountry.com. Remember, Jenna's on. That's what we call, because it's always free shipping for anybody in the United States. And also, if you've never bought anything from Joy and Country, you use the code WELCOME10 and you'll get 10% off besides the special price today for this tea. So you don't want to miss that. I promise you, you will love it. When she showed it to me, I was like, I love this. Wait till you see the other ones too. Amazing what she brought over for me. Okay, so hello everyone. I see Oregon is listening. Okay, big sale today for top of the day. That's Renee. Yes. Oh, that all rhymed. It does match my glasses perfectly, Betty. Absolutely. Okay, so what am I doing? Satellites, underground cable. Guys, I am telling you, and I mean this from my heart, I get led by the Holy Spirit to these places. I don't even know half of this stuff that, and I learn, and I'm in shock half the time of this stuff that I'm going to share with you today is just astonishing. Maybe you're smarter than me and you knew everything. I knew some of this. I did not know all of this, but just so you know, for those that are new, this platform is rather unique. We really believe that we don't have to agree. I've got people that believe in flat earth on here. I got people that believe in round earth on here. I got people all different states, countries, everything you can possibly think of. People that disagree with me, people that respect what I say but don't agree. And it's okay. We can disagree here. The only thing that'll get you booted is if you're a troll and you're nasty, and you're cursing, or you're just being obnoxious and you want just for the sake of being obnoxious. That'll get you booted. But you disagree with me, we'll talk about it. I don't have a problem with that. That's why we're in this spot in this country and around the world, because we're not allowed to disagree. So that's fine. Now, at the end of this, what will happen, again, for those of you that are new, if you want to ask a question pertaining to this topic, you put 3 question marks and then ask the question. I'll post it on the screen and then I'll do my best to answer it. I have no issues with saying, I don't know. Guess what? I'm not God. Ding, ding, ding. Okay? So sometimes I don't know. I know a lot. I got a wild brain. I hold a lot of information, but sometimes I just don't know. Okay? So here we go. Listen, discern, verify. Okay? Listen to what I'm saying. Discern if it's true. If you really don't know, go verify it. Okay? All right. Let's do this. Under the waves at the bottom of the Earth's ocean, okay, are cables that are over 1.5 million kilometers of submarine fiber optic cable. Okay. It goes unnoticed by mostly everyone in the world. These cables span just about the entire globe. They cover all the internet and everything that is involved in the information age that we are living in. Over 99% of our communication is through sea cables. Now you're going to see a little bit of an older clip, and it's kind of old, and I feel bad. This is later on. It's not the best quality, but at that point it was 95%, over 95%. Now it's over 99% of all communication, cell phones, landlines, a TV, anything, GPS, okay, is undersea cables, not satellites. We're going to go down that road. Undersea cables have been used since the 1850s. Initially, they were used to carry telegrams. Today, the fiber optics, they're actually like the size of a garden hose, if you can imagine. They started a bit bigger. Now they're about the size of a garden hose. They're laid down. I'll show you that later as well. I don't want to get into that now. Most of the lifespan of these is 25 years old. And what happens if the cables are cut? Sharks have been known to bite through them, lost some of our cable and stuff. Electromagnetic outages now, they're saying, is probably going to be because of the undersea cables. The importance of these cables to our nations and nations around the world infrastructure is shocking, that most people don't even have any idea, and how easy it is to cut it. A month of cutting cables to everywhere in our country, after 1 month, we would only have 7% would be restored. Now, there are no cables. This is, a lot of you know this. There are no cables running from, and this isn't what most of this is about, but I would be amiss if I didn't hit this. Okay. So I'm going to show you the submarine cable map. Let me put that up. Okay. So here they are. Okay. Here's our world. And there's the submarine cable map. You see all of those lines, interactive, fiber optic, submarine cable, cable stations, those little dots, okay, are cable stations. They're subsea cables, and they're an essential part of our global internet structure. Now, I'm going to come back to this probably, but this is what is made up of the cable construction. It's not a big deal, okay? It's galvanized wires, as you can see, nylon. It's covered in nylon, the outside. Optical cables in the center, silicone gel, copper sheath, nylon, all of that stuff I'm not going to go through it, but it's not like a big deal. Like you could cut through that with a really big pair of cutting shears, okay? Like you do your shrubs. So I'm going to go back to here. Why are there lots of submarine cables between everywhere, but they're not between like Cape Horn at the bottom of South America, South Africa? There's none there. There's none from South Africa to Australia. There's none from South America to Africa. So I went and looked. Why? Okay, I asked the question everywhere, and these are the answers I got. There's not a lot happening between South America. Look at all the way up to Brazil. Doesn't go to Africa. It hits Brazil to get over there. So, and then there's really hardly no communication at all between South Africa and Australia. And then if you look on the other side of the map, Australia is off to the left. And so there's really not a lot of communication between South America and Australia. And I scratched my head and I went, what? You're telling me there's not a lot of communication between Argentina and South Africa? Or South Africa and Australia? What? There's not, that isn't? Okay, so you know where this is going to go. Brazil faces several African countries along the same set of latitudinal lines, okay? Yet there are maybe one cable between them. So another question was, why are there many cables between the top continents, but not the bottom ones? And this is an interesting answer someone said to me by Henry David Thoreau. Our inventions want to be pretty toys which distract our attention from serious things. There are but improved means to an unimproved end. We are in great haste to construct a magnetic telegraph from Maine to Texas, but Maine and Texas, it may have nothing to do to communicate. So they gave me that answer, a quote, like these countries have nothing to communicate. So apparently there's nothing important between these countries. So let me show you. Hold on a second. Let me show you something. Here's the Flat Earth Gleason map. Okay? So let me take that out. Hang on a second. All right. I got to this map because of no wires. Okay? Now take a look at where the bottom of South America is and look up over where Australia is. You think they're going to run a cable all that whole way? Or look where South America, the tip of South America is, and in Africa. They're not going to. So let's go back, okay? Look at on the flat Earth map, North America, okay, and look at Europe. You see those two? Watch. Look at all the cables running from North America to Europe. Why? Because it's a short distance. It's a very short distance. I just keep getting more and more proof of this stuff. It's just right in plain sight, guys. I can't believe I didn't see it first. Nothing from South America to Australia. Why would there be? Look how far. They're not going to run cables all that way. Okay, so we got that. Okay, so let's move on. I also spent time looking up cruises, just for ha-has. I'm looking up cruises from South America to Australia. There isn't any. From Africa to Australia. There isn't any. There's no cruises. Okay, so let's put that to bed for a second. Now, you got all these cables. They're the size of a garden hose laying under the sea. So what are their problems? Well, I already told you sharks can eat cables. You're vulnerable to attacks from other countries and our enemies. Spies love these underwater cables. Wiretapping is especially easy in these underwater cables. So when documents are stolen by a former NSA analyst, Edward Snowden, came to light, many countries were outraged to learn the extent to which American spy agencies were intercepting foreign data. As a result, the countries are reconsidering the infrastructure of the internet itself. For example, Brazil launched a project to build a submarine communications cable to Portugal that bypassed the United States entirely. Why? Because they don't trust us. Now, how would a spy, another country, someone that wants to stop all communications happening in the United States and have a big event, what would they need? Basically, they would need scuba gear, and a big pair of wire cutters. That's what they would need. Okay? So I'm going to read this to you right now. This is from Yemen's Houthi, Houthi government, warning to the US and the UK. Now listen to this. In the current international situation, Yemen's Houthi, warning to the US and UK, have attracted widespread global attention. The Houthis have threatened that they will not hesitate to cut the Red Sea undersea fiber optic cable if the US and UK launch another attack on Yemen airports. The Red Sea undersea optical cable is the lifeblood of the communication pathways which connects Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. Such a threat not only poses a threat to geopolitical stability, but also has a serious impact on global financial markets. Red Sea under submarine cables, like any other fiber optic cables, are communication cables made of glass fibers with a plastic outer layer that's usually buried under the sea and used for communication and data transmission around the globe. The structural design of these cables is very complex to ensure long-term stable operation, but very easy to cut into. Okay? So, how do we know? How do we know what's going on under there? There is so much that we don't know that is happening right now. So, now that you understand that, okay, think of how preposterous it is to think that Fake 46 says when a balloon comes across the United States, that they're doing this to us. Do you realize how preposterous that is? When all they have to do is tap in down there, just tap in. You lose communications for 1 second and they put something that will intercept and it will go, everything will go to them as well. Do you realize that? So with these threats from everywhere, why, oh why are we not using satellites for less than 1% of communication? Why? Okay, let's just take a little detour and talk about GPS, geographical positioning system, GPS. Use them in our cars, right? Okay, so how does GPS work? This is what we're told. GPS satellites circle the Earth twice a day in a precise orbit. Each satellite transmits a unique signal and orbital parameters that allow GPS devices to decode and compute the exact precise location of the satellite. GPS receivers use this information and they calculate a user's exact location. Okay, so this is my question. This is why I ended up going down this road and connecting the two. We used to live in California. We used to go up on Mulholland. We used to go up top of mountains and hike really high, okay? Some of them, I used to have to, couldn't look because they were so high. There was no railing. The road was this wide. Very scary. But when we got up there, it was amazing, amazing view. And we would come down and we would hike. And this is what we always noticed. We would lose GPS connection. Now, I never understood it then, because how could we lose GPS connection? If it's coming from a satellite, okay, and we're higher, shouldn't it be stronger, not weaker? Am I thinking correctly? So at what altitude does GPS stop working? 60,000 feet. Why? Why wouldn't it be better being higher? How can it be 60? Why would it stop working? So this is what it says, okay? This is all NASA and all of these, people. Most civilian GPS receivers will stop working at 60,000 feet. Why? This prevents most trackers from being able to update your payload's position. Sometimes it's possible to obtain specialized GPS receivers to work a bit above 18,000 feet. So why? Why? If we're using these things, there's 8,000 of them out there, okay? Some of them traveling at 17,000 miles per hour. How come we can't? Okay, so what about our cell phones? Okay, let me show you this. Hang on. Forgive me for the, it's an older film and I couldn't find a good one. Maybe you guys can find this better, but watch this.
Atlantic cable began ushering in global communications. And now tech giants are taking that undersea revolution a big step further. Here's Mark Albert.
When you pick up the phone to reach out and touch someone across the oceans, it's only possible because of ships like the Global Sentinel.
This is cable tank number 1.
And what am I standing on right now?
You're standing on fiber optic cable that's going to be laid from here towards Brazil.
E-Connectivity Subcom, which calls itself the world's largest provider of under-ocean fiber optic cable.
They're calling it the
in New Hampshire.
So the cable we're walking on right now will be under the ocean carrying my phone calls?
Yes, it will. It's a good chance any call you make to South America.
The machines use water jets to create a trench, allowing the cable to sink into the seabed and become buried.
95% of all telephone and data is transferred over submarine cables.
Not satellite.
Not satellite.
Really? Really? How about you take this video and send it all to your friends that are so mesmerized with looking up at the astonishing astronomy of the world that they don't see what's sitting in front of them. How about you do that? Okay, so you saw that. Very interesting, right? Very interesting. Now, let's go down that a little bit. The signal, all right, the 5G towers, all this stuff, the signal from your cell phone can only go a few miles, okay? They only go a few miles. So it goes to a tower, and from the tower, the data is carried over terrestrial cables, land, or subsea fiber optic cables. So that's what happened. So your signal is only carried to the nearest cell tower. It doesn't go to a satellite. I laugh at all this stuff now because it's so obvious. Now, with all of outer space available to us in the Milky Way galaxy and the billions of stars, and they're exploding every day, and the universe is expanding every second, and it's just amazing. We have to use undersea cables and cell towers? Wait a minute. NASA is landing probes on comets. They're deflecting asteroids so they don't collide with the Earth. They are sending Mars rovers, to land and investigate Mars. Wouldn't it be logical just to wire the entire internet to satellites and create faster ones in space so that there's not the possibility that we can get hacked, that we can end up being a completely dark country with no way to communicate at all because someone got mad at us and decided to cut all our cables? Well, according to NASA, no, they can't do that. Apparently, satellites have a twofold problem. According to NASA, they have latency issues and bit loss. Okay, so remember that, please remember I said that, okay? So what are satellites used for? They're used for information about Earth's clouds, oceans, land, air. Apparently, there are 4 types of satellites: communication, but they just said they don't use it, but that's okay. Earth observation, okay. Even though we have people that draw the Earth, but that's okay. Navigation, even though I just proved to you, and so did that man say, that the GPS is done underwater, undersea, or by towers. And astronomy, for astronomy. I don't know what that means. So how fast do satellites travel? Some up to 17,000 miles per hour. Now, the Earth apparently spins on its orbit 1,000 miles per hour. Okay, so every 90 minutes, it's like, there's a satellite, there's another satellite. So that's what they're doing. Okay, but they're really, really high. All right, but the lowest ones are at 3,650 miles per hour. Okay, so we can probe Mars, but we can't make a satellite faster. Oh, wait a second. In the 1960s, when we landed on the moon, the president, from a landline, no latency, talked to the people on the moon. That's what they did in 1960s. Wait a minute. How many years is that? 70s, 80s, 90s, 50 years ago? They actually Do you see how preposterous this is when you lay it out and you use common sense and critical thinking? So, according to NASA, there are 8,000 satellites in orbit. But wait, there's more. Elon Musk owns 4,500 of them, and they're controlled by his company. So one man, one company is in control of over 50% of the satellites in space. Really. Before you get all cuddly with Elon Musk, just consider that, okay? So don't get too cuddly with him. One man owns that. So I have a satellite. Can I put my satellite up there? Is that okay? Can we all pitch in and have our own satellites? Is that all right? All right, so how long do satellites last? Satellites in low orbits, okay. I'm going to read this to you. This is from NASA. At an altitude of a few hundred kilometers from the ground will enter the atmosphere, but burn up in several years to several decades. They don't know exactly how long. On the other hand, satellites in high orbits over 1,000 kilometers will continue to be used and revolve for more than 100 years. So what are satellites made of, according to NASA? Mostly aluminum, plastic, alloys with different materials. Wait for it. Metals of the future. They're made with metals of the future. You can't make this up. I couldn't make this up. So let's talk about GEOES satellites. That's geostationary operational environmental satellites. They provide imagery and atmospheric measurements in real-time mapping, and they check solar activity. They are 22,236 miles above Earth. So let's round it off and say 22,000 miles above Earth. They rotate 1,000 miles per hour, the same as the Earth. And this is what we have to remember, though. Okay, they're up 22,000 miles. Let's get this. Let me show you these. These are the Van Allen belts. Okay, so what are the Van Allen belts? This is a photo. Obviously, it's redone. I mean, it doesn't look like that. And nothing looks like that. Everything is fake there, the whole thing, except that the Van Allen belts are real, okay? This is from the Houston, Texas Space Center. The belts are I forget, I think 2,000 to 4,000 miles above the Earth. And the belts have radiation, and they are 35,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. Now, according to NASA, satellites can only exist up to 265 degrees Fahrenheit. So, how do satellites not melt? Some of them are at the exact altitude of the Van Allen belts. Some of them had to go through the Van Allen belts. Okay. How do they not melt? They're aluminum. Oh, maybe it's the future metal. It's the future metal. Maybe. So I started asking around again. You know, I go to Quora, I go to Reddit, you don't know it's me. I block my real name and everything. I just start asking questions. So how do astronauts fly through the Van Allen belts, where most of the rocket is aluminum to be light enough? Okay. How do they do that? Okay. And how do they protect themselves? This was an answer. astronauts must fly through the Van Allen belts to reach outer space. So it's important to fly through this region quickly. Do you realize how deceived people are? These are some answers. Like these are right. Like I am a scientist at MIT. Here's my answer. They have to fly through quickly because you see, if you fly through 35,000 degrees Fahrenheit and you can only handle 265 degrees Fahrenheit, but if you do it quickly, you don't melt. And if you do it fast enough, the astronauts don't get radiation poisoning. Well, wait, there's a better one. There's a better one. This was an answer. The Van Allen belt isn't impenetrable due to the radiation anymore. Okay? Just as we make sure people don't drown when crossing the sea, we make sure people don't get a lethal dose of radiation when crossing the Van Allen belts. Can I just stop this right there and are you kidding me? So let me conclude this craziness. We have underwater cables that can be used very easily and cut and tapped into for a cyber attack, but we still use them instead of satellites that have all of outer space, and 8,000 of them are in orbit, okay, all different ways and everything. Okay, so, but we don't use them. We have countries, even as small as Yemen, okay, threatening us with cyber attacks using underwater cables, but we still don't use satellites for most communication, even top secret in our own country. So GPS, which supposedly works through satellites, but works worse on a mountain, even though it's closer to the satellite. But if you're in an area that's got all tree cover and you're in the valley way away from the satellites, but you have a tower a quarter of a mile away from you, works like a charm, that GPS. Okay. And satellites and astronauts fly through the Van Allen radiation belt, even though it melts any metal we have, which is really astonishing because the Van Allen belts are 35,000 degrees. But since the astronauts flew quickly and snuck through they actually are saying there's areas of the belt that are less than 35,000 degrees. So that means, what are they? 1,000 degrees, but the satellite still burns up in aluminum at 265. What? Okay. So even they, as humans, astronauts going up, they weren't affected by radiation. So we're being lied to, obviously. Space, Antarctica, North Poles, all the things we can't check. Those are the things we're being lied to the most about and are being used against us. So let me just leave you with a few scriptures that are wisdom and promises from God. Proverbs 1:7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Proverbs 18:15. The heart of the discerning, got to be discerning, acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks it out. Proverbs 20:15. This is the Good News Translation. I love this. This is for all you online soldiers that take this stuff and send it out to people. Take these, mine and other people that you trust, and you take it and you send it out so that they can start understanding and waking up to where we're living right now. So here it is, Proverbs 20:15. If you know what you are talking about, you have something more valuable than gold or jewels. And Proverbs 29:18. People perish for a lack of knowledge. Look at with this. That's what it's about. People perish for a lack of knowledge. And the last one, and this is true, true, true. The amplified version, Luke 8:17. There is nothing hidden that will not be revealed, nor anything secret that will not be made known and brought out into the open. You must discern for yourself. Don't listen to me. When I started this, the Holy Spirit said to me, feed them fish, but teach them how to fish for themselves. And if any of you followed that one letter at all, that's what that was for. Whether you believe it, don't believe it, it taught a lot of people how to fish for themselves. Listen, discern, find it for yourself, expand your knowledge, and verify. Don't let others fill your mind and spirit with things that you cannot be sure of, even if it's something you want. Pray, and the Holy Spirit will reveal all truth to you. Amen. Amen. That's it. And that's it. I'm dropping my mic. I don't have one. I'm dropping a pen. That's it. That's what's going on with satellites, and that's what's going on with underwater cables. Now, you got to figure out, wait, why is this happening? Why aren't they using them up there? Why are there pictures with big balloons with them hanging? That's what those balloons are that are coming across the country. That's what they are. So apparently, I don't know, a satellite crashed. Those balloons are the size of 2-3 football fields. Look, so a lot of people say to me, wait, but so everybody's in on this? No, not everybody. But if you go to work for these people, you will sign your life away. You cannot say anything. You can't. Listen, I have proof. And when it comes to 9/11 at some point, we get to that, I'm gonna give you proof of people that came to me that had people, sons and daughters that worked in, like, you know, the areas that apparently were hit. And I'm telling you, you sign your life away. When you know things, you reveal it. You might as well say you suicided yourself. That's why people don't reveal a lot of this stuff. Okay, let me see if there's any questions. Yes, that is absolutely 100%, Lana, fact. NASA is the largest consumer of helium in the world. Thank you for that. Hold on, wrong one. Yeah, I can. Tom, there's so many things I want to do a show on, and I start, so you understand. I start and I'm like, yeah, let's see, we'll do this. And as I'm going down the road, Tom, something will come at me, and the witness I get is beyond anything I can say no to. And so then I shift. I've shifted 3 times for Friday already. I've shifted 3 times. So that's why I said I was going to let you know. I don't know what I'm doing Friday yet. Okay. Can you cliff note those for those of us who are not scientifically minded, please, Delora? Yeah. So Diana, let me explain to you what you do. Okay. When you hear something, I wish I could cliff note. I can hardly get done what I do now. When you hear something you don't understand, stop. This is what you've got to do. You guys have to do this. And you either take a screenshot of it or you write it down and you look it up. So you will understand how things work so that you'll never be fooled again. I could do that for you, but then do I have to do that for everything? Do you know what I'm saying? I normally wouldn't answer this, Patricia, because it's not about this, but I got to answer it. I believe this eclipse and everything surrounding it was the turning point. And I don't ever say I told you so. If you've been following me, I've been saying things and going against the flow, and I call myself the cheese stands alone. But I told you guys last year, I think it was a year ago, that the first quarter of 2024 is going to set the pace for the rest of the year. March, what happened in March probably set the pace for the next 10 years. So March did it for me, mostly everything. Then the eclipse, I believe 2024 is going to shift us into another place that God's going to bring us, that people's heads are going to spin. All good. That's what I believe. I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an optimist. I'm not saying we're not going to go through some hard times. I believe it. Because let me tell you something. When you are being beat, okay, you will do anything. You get reckless. You blow things up. You throw things. You're reckless. That's what they are right now. They're reckless. They don't know what to do. They're reckless. Delora the Explorer just popped their balloon. Oh, no pun intended. Just popped their balloon. Okay, Queen Esther, let me tell you what I believe about that. Okay, Space Force is not outer space. Space Force is inner space. That's why Mr. T has it all. That's why, because it's about information and communication. It's Space Force, inner space. If it's outer space and I'm wrong, then it's beyond our lands. That would be Space Force, but I don't believe that. I believe it's now when you hear Space Force being used, think of it the way I just said it. It will make a lot more sense to you. Yeah, Darren. Let me put that up. Yeah, now I see why P was so mad about cutting the cables. You get it? You get it? This is why, because it's all under the ocean. You know, Kim said, the first one to ever say this, said, watch the waters. Now, Prophet Kim Clement, everybody's jumped on that. Watch the water, there's snake venom, there's this, there's that. Now I believe, and I wish I thought of that before, I would have gotten it for you. Maybe I'll play it next time. When he said, watch the waters, I think this is what he was talking about. I think this is what he was talking about. Let me look for another. Are these cables put in the waters on orders from our government who exactly authorized all of this? So this is to spy on all of us. No. So let me explain to you, Renee. The cables were put in by many different governments. So, okay, I'm Ireland, okay? And I want to have all my people in the country be able to communicate with people in the United States. I will put a cable under the ocean to the United States and hook it to a center, a cable center in the United States. So these aren't put on orders from our government. This is our government. This is what they're doing. And then who authorized this? I don't know. Renee, you gotta think about the question you're saying. They don't ask us for authorization they just do what they want. We don't live in a republic. We don't live in a republic. I hope that answered your question. Future what? Future metals. Is that what you're talking about? What happened in March? Go back and look at everything that happened in March. If you didn't see what went on in March, you missed it. Completely missed it. I'm telling you, spilling tea. Because March was a month that I can't even believe the things that went on and the revelations and the understanding and the overthrows. And it was unreal. March was just incredible. I saw a video of the eclipse with the moon somewhere else in the sky. Who knows? I don't doubt anything. I don't doubt anything anymore. Let me see. Tony, what do you think? Bo Polney says is going to happen the next month or so. I don't watch anybody. No one. Hope that answers your question. Let's see. Done. Okay. If the sun, Palazzo Place. Hey, I used to live in a place called Palazzo in California. Is that why you want to know something? That picture looks like the Palazzo in the background. I used to live at the Palazzo in LA, right off of 3rd. Okay, Delora, if the sun does not revolve around the earth, how do you explain daytime and nighttime? Okay, so let's say this is the earth. Pretend it's a circle, okay? Like it says in the Bible, Palazzo, all right? The sun doesn't go like this, okay? The sun goes like this. When you see the sun set, it's because it's out of view. I forget what it's called. Somebody maybe can say it here. But the sun and the moon, one travels faster than the other. That's why sometimes they eclipse each other. Okay? The moon, the sun. If you read in Genesis, it says a luminary for the day and a luminary for the night. They're lights. They're lights. Okay. Let's go here. Is that it? Is that it? You guys let me off easy? Nothing works off satellites. Nothing works off satellites. Well, to tell you. Let's see. So are these phone lines from years ago that was used for, this is above my pay grade. Free to Dream, above my pay grade too. Yeah, they're used for the internet. Absolutely. Some of them have a shorter life. The ones that were put down for the internet, like they started laying them in the 90s. Then, when we got internet, I don't know, it was late 90s or something. That's what they did. They've only got like a 25-year life. That's why sometimes you're going to get, static. You're going to get, and people. People think all of these things, that are not true. If we have an electromagnetic event and go down, it's probably because all of them were cut. What else would it be? I don't know. Maybe the underwater dumbs were using the cables too, or maybe they had their own technology. Again, anything is possible. I say, unless I study something out, I don't know what, let's see, Ruth, 2 people earlier asked good questions. How does Starlink and satellite phones work? Same thing. It's a way like, let's say Starlink, faster. It's faster. Maybe, a faster way of doing something. There is no up there. There is no up there. I don't know how else to say it, man. There really isn't. Are there satellites on balloons and stuff? Yeah. And are they taking pictures of things and stuff? Yeah. Yeah, they are. But that's why you see people fight. Listen, go on here or Rumble or TikTok and put in satellite balloons. And people find them in fields, big satellite balloons with a satellite attached. You can't imagine. I'm telling you, it's astonishing. It's amazing. Okay. Spilling tea. No problem at all. Yeah, that's what I want to know, April. What in the heck are future metals? I don't know. Metals that we don't know about because we're too stupid, April. You know what I'm saying? We're too stupid. We're like these little peons that don't know anything. So we wouldn't understand future metals, but they can go through the Van Allen belts. I don't understand. I don't understand. Yeah, Shmoo, maybe. I don't know. Let me just, Debbie. It's a great question. Do the stars move too? No. The star. Let me tell you how interesting it is. All right. If you read Genesis, it says the stars, put them in the air. Okay. When you see clouds and they're moving, that's wind current. Wind's real. Clouds are real, created by moisture. This is all real stuff. Okay. If this is what I used to do, and I shared this once, and it's very, very interesting. When I was a little girl, I was so taken by stars and it because my mind at 5, 6 years old was like it is now. Why was my favorite word. I used to drive my parents quite crazy. Well, we have to do, but why? But why? That's what I was this big, and I was saying why. So what I would do is I would lie down on the grass in Massachusetts, stars everywhere, like very different life, beautiful stars. And I would ask, my brother, my sister, I was the youngest, came after many years. And they were like my second mom and dad. And I would say, well, what about that? And, my brother would say, oh, that's the Big Dipper. See the pot and the handle. And then as NASA told everybody that by the time you see those stars and they hit your eye to perceive them, they've died because it's that many years that it takes for the light of that star to hit my eye. Okay. I was fascinated by that. But here's the issue. Okay. The same stars that were in the sky when I was 5 are still in the sky. I go to the Caribbean, they're still in the sky. You go to Europe, same stars, still in the sky. Why? If the Earth is expanding and the universe is expanding and we're in a Milky Way galaxy and explosions happening everywhere and new stars being made, why? I don't get it. April or Debbie, whoever asked that, Debbie? I don't know. Sean, I watched it. Very, very funny. Now, what I'm hoping, I either posted about it or I'm about to post. I know I put it together. Guys, there's a trailer called Fly Me to the Moon. And it's saying how the moon landing was not real. But I don't know, Sean, how that's going to end. That's my only thing. It didn't say it. So is this a trick to get us to watch the film and then they say, no, it's really true. We can do it now. I don't know. But it is very funny. Okay. I think that's it, guys. What about those that have satellite dishes to watch TV, cable, etc.? Good question, Jojo. It still doesn't have to do with a satellite, which is why if you see they don't even have those much anymore because it was so bad. I don't know if it was they did that and it hit something and came down or if it went to I don't know. But there's not much going on up there. That I know. They take pictures. Oh, that's a great idea, Island Girl. I dreamt you and Fab Four did a Christian version of Hollywood Squares, but biblical question and answers. That's a great idea. Yeah. Yep. The satellite phones are connected to more cables. Yeah, they sure are. I don't know about the Elon Musk related to Von Braun. Could be. I have no idea. I knew people that I thought I knew and knew them personally, and finding out stuff about them that I'm like, what? Just crazy. Okay, new comments. Let's see. Allowed to be so. Yeah, well, that's my question, Rebecca. How's our power grid allowed to be so vulnerable? It's my question. That's what I want to know. How come no one asks their congressman that? Why? Because most people don't realize it. Okay, going down at the bottom. This is even current, are bounced off others using radio waves. Yep. I'm really fascinated by all this, just having a hard time relating to my adult children, popping the bubble of my grandchildren, and they're intrigued with the planets. You want to know what to do, Donna? Love them, okay? Love them into truth. Love them. That's all. You don't need a mallet to hit someone over the head. All you're going to do is kill them in your relationship. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I haven't, Gigi, that's an interesting question. Have you done a show about things you witnessed during your Hollywood years? I have not. And I'm going to tell you why. Because a lot of this stuff I witnessed and were told to me privately. And I'm so visible now. And I was very visible then in the scene out there, that if I say something, you could connect. A smart person will be able to connect the dots. That's why I don't think I ever will do it, because there's some very, very innocent people that would be very, very hurt by it. That's why. Okay. I think that's it for now. Don't forget this on Saturday. I'm telling you, it's going to be off the charts, off the chain, and yes, off the cuff. That's Saturday, April 13th at 1 o'clock, live on Rumble. Delora OBrien, The Gathering over there. Go subscribe, hit the button, and living proof of a loving God. Jenna, let me read it to you again. Jenna, $5 off this tea just for today. The price ends at the end of the day. Always, Jenna's on free shipping to U.S. addresses. And if it's your first time ordering, you can get the $5 off of this plus another 10% by Welcome 10. Okay, I'm going over there now. She told me to pick out a couple things I want for the rest of the week. So I'll be over there with you, and I'll see you soon. I'll see you on Friday at noon. Should be a great show, doubleheader that day. Love you all. Remember, today and every single day and every single minute, wherever you go, go in the power of God. Bye, everybody. Love you dearly.